It's the last quarter-final in the B&H Cup here on British Eurosport. Tonight, either Ayr or Newcastle will join London, Sheffield and Nottingham in the last four. The Scottish Eagles are 3-2 down after the first leg. So will they be flying high tonight, or will it be the Jesters who have the last laugh? Hello and welcome to the Ayr Centrum Arena for this B&H Cup second leg quarter-final between the Ayr Scottish Eagles and the Newcastle Jesters. Well, yesterday the Nottingham Panthers booked their place in the semi-finals in sensational style. Tonight's winners will make up the last four. Well, I'm joined on the ice once again by our commentary duo of Paul Ferguson and Richard Beaupre. Paul, first of all, bad news for the home camp at the moment, isn't it? They've lost their coach and they're also a goal down.
Absolutely. Tonight, Paul Heavey takes over. Paul has a lot of experience, but Jim Lynch is suffering from a bad back. He can no longer stand behind the bench and put in the time and the hours that he used to. So Paul Heavey is there, and it'll be interesting to see how the players react to the loss of a great coach. But again, Heavey is there. He's got a lot of experience.
Well, Richard, yesterday you were tipping the Jesters. That looks like a pretty good tip tonight.
Well, I do think that Newcastle at present have their number. Newcastle have beaten them once in the league and once in this quarterfinal competition of the Benson Hedges Cup. But overall, these two teams have played in Ayr 19 times. Ayr have won 14 of those games. The Jesters only twice, and they've drawn 3 times. So home ice advantage. Will it pay for the Ayr Scottish Eagles or not? We're about to find out.
They certainly are. Okay, guys, I'll let you get off to your commentary positions. Now, as I said a little bit earlier, tonight's winners will make it through to the last four. And we'll have the draw for the semi-finals right after the game. You won't want to miss that. One thing is for sure, though, tonight's winners won't face an easy route through to the final. Stuff. There are 3 teams already through to the semi-finals. The Steelers, the Knights and the Panthers. Will it be the Eagles or the Jesters who join them there tonight? Let's have a look at the form line. Last 5 meetings and the Jesters just ahead 3-2. Okay, time now to check out the team news and catch the best of the action with Richard and first of all, Paul.
Thanks, Chris. Well, the Ayr Scottish Eagles have it all to do tonight. Coach Paul Heavey is at the helm, and Bopes, they have a lot of talent, but can they string it together?
Well, they do have a lot of talent. They've been here before. They have won competitions. They've got guys that can score goals, and they're going to need to be tough tonight against this Newcastle team.
Newcastle have a goal advantage. Jukka Jalonen, the Finnish coach, knows what he has to do. These guys are going to throw the puck around, and they're going to wait for their openings. You're not going to see them taking any unnecessary chances.
No, and they're also a team with good level heads. They play the game tough, but they also generally have the ability to stay out of the penalty box. They pick their spots. They are going to be without Arkiomo tonight. He's a key player. He played well in the first game, and they'll miss him tonight.
The referee for tonight's big game is Maury Hansen, Alan Craig, and Robert Cowan are working the lines. And the Ayr Scottish Eagles, the home side, will be playing from left to right. Tony Hang wins the draw. And Bopes, the Eagles have it all to do. They're playing without their coach, Jim Lynch. Paul Heavey's in charge. Paul Heavey has a lot of experience with the Cardiff Devils and with the GB side, so he knows what he's doing. But what effect, as we said at the top of the show, will it have on his team?
Well, I think the Ayr Scottish Eagles are going to have to rally not only themselves, but Coach Paul Heavey. who is more than just an interim coach as far as I'm concerned. He knows this league as well or better than anybody else that coaches in it right now. So good luck to Paul, and Ayr are going to have to come up with a good win tonight, or else they're going to be out of this competition, as we both very well know.
McCausland got it up on the wing. Newcastle coming back on the attack, hitting the blue, everyone over. Solomon goes in, looking for the shot. Dureville gets a touch on it. Eventually the rebound comes back to Philippe Dureville, and he pounces on it and gets the first stoppage in play with 52 seconds. And there's Paul Heavey already giving instructions. He was the assistant coach, came up from Cardiff, as we said, so he's no stranger to this ice rink or to these players.
Well, or to this country. Paul does hail from Scotland, so I'm sure he's happy to be home, and there are a lot of people happy that he's here.
He speaks the language. That's what he told me before the game. After 10 years in Wales. Loose puck, Montanari drags it back. 1 minute of play has elapsed. The Ayr Scottish Eagles trail by 1 in the aggregate stakes. Breaking right up the middle. A chance now. Shot going upstairs. Gordon broke in. Satasari between the pipes.
Satasari has played in 6 games in this tournament. 144 shots have gone his way. He's got a 2.65 goals against average, and that's a great glove save.
Binns gathers that, gives it to Mosner. Mosner, rink-wide pass. This is good stuff. And we have a lot of players out on the ice, and the whistle blows. Penalty coming up.
Well, we talked about that communication. Ayr without Jim Lynch. Paul Heavey on the bench. The players, the coaches. These are penalties that they don't like to have happen. Paul Heavey's a very tactical guy. And there seemed to be some kind of confusion as to who was meant to be out there and who wasn't. Ed Courtney making his way across the ice. He will serve the penalty. It's too many men on the ice. Newcastle with a power play opportunity. Their power play needs a bit of work. They are currently rated number 8 of the 8 teams in this Benson and Hedges Cup. They only have an 8.6% of success with their power play.
Face off in neutral ice territory. Oates wins that, drags it away from Brett Gordon. Keiko slides it back, and the Jesters now. Good sweeping motion, bringing it up. Shot just wide of the target coming from Yaro Sorsa. Keiko got it in, Sorsa drops it in further. Sounds a bit like the Finnish national team. Bedard, the Canadian out there, got a chop at it. A chance now. Sorsa trying to do the wraparound the side of that. Loose puck is there. Goalie down. And a chop there coming from Yari Sorsa as things get a little physical back behind the cage. No love lost between these two teams, and they're both very, very big. When you look at this team from Ayr Scottish Eagles, they've got 3 guys who are 6'3", 2 guys who are 6'4", and 1 who is 6'6". Courtney's sitting for 2 for too many men on the ice. But the Newcastle team is no slouch either. They've got some big players.
They do have big players. They don't tend to play the real physical game, though. They've got a finesse game. It seems to work for them right now. And the big difference between these two teams is that Ayr have taken 223 minutes now in penalties in this competition to Newcastle's 111. Nearly double the amount of penalties Ayr have taken to Newcastle. So you can see the two teams and their contrasting styles. Ayr a very physical team.
Poirier loses out to Tony Hand. Jesters throwing that puck around deep. Wilson drops back to the blue line, calls for it. Jesters still ragging the puck on the far side. Doing some good work there was Lacroix. Wilson still wants it as Poirier hangs on it. Now Wilson gets it, gives it back to Poirier. Jesters taking a lot of time. They got a Finnish coach, and the Finnish style of hockey is to make sure that the positioning and the shot is a good one. Some good checking on the far side. Hansen lets it go. No penalty call as McCausland gets it up nicely to number 27, Lacroix. Lacroix races in, flips it back behind the cage. Working in quickly is Fenton. Fenton gets it back. Good stuff by Hand to get in front of that. And deflect it away, but only as far as Wilson. Hand doing a great job of trying to break things down out there. McCausland back of the blue line. Wilson now moves in from the blue line up in front of the net, trying to jam it in. Goaltender missed that one. He didn't know it was right there. Power play goal.
Poirier knew that the puck was there, and he put it into the net. Joel Poirier, one of those guys who just never stops working. 3 goals, 5 assists coming into this game. That's his 4th goal of the competition now. 9 points for Poirier. One of the leaders on this team. The play building up behind the net. The wraparound attempt from Fenton is there. The initial save is there, but Poirier, unmarked, slams the rebound into the net. Well, they came into this game with a goal advantage, and the score of the first goal in this game is a huge goal for Newcastle. They're going to make it difficult for Ayr because Newcastle do not tend to cough up the puck. They do play good, controlled hockey.
Another penalty coming up. Stoppage in play. And again, the Jesters will find themselves a man down. Bins going to the box for 2 minutes at 2:18 for high sticking.
High sticking is the call, accidental or not. It still caught an Ayr player. That hurts. 3rd power play opportunity now for Ayr, but boy, we have to be careful mentioning these power plays because we just seem to be the curse. We mentioned that Newcastle don't take penalties. They only came into this game with 111 minutes of penalties. They've had 3 minors already in this game. Ayr with the #1 power play can't seem to find the net with the man advantage.
Why do you keep saying we?
Well, we're a team, Paul. We're a team. We the people, we're a team.
Rhett Gordon again breaking in on goal. And once again, we have a stoppage of play, and the penalty box door opens up. Holding is the call as Maury Hansen calls another penalty against the Jesters. Darren McCausland sits for 2. This could be tricky for Newcastle. Face-off in the zone. It's a 5-on-3 situation. 1:51 on the first penalty to Bins and 2 minutes to McCausland. A long time to be 2 men short. Officials taking a long time to drop that puck. Eventually Wynn is asked to come in. Oates stays there for the Jesters. 2 minutes and 8 seconds left on the period. Oates takes a swipe at it, but that comes all the way back to the blue line. Young got it over. Deflection goes upstairs into the net. Wynn fed that through.
Teeter Wynn will get credit for the goal. It was deflected, in fact, by a Newcastle stick in front of the net. But that's a big goal, and it's good that they got it early because Ayr still have the man advantage for a long time. 1 player out of the box and 1 still in there. It was a 5-on-3. Young going right to the front of the net. Quick pass. Wynn just looking for a player across the net. The pass doesn't get across the net. It ends up in the back of the net off a Newcastle stick. Goal number 1 for Ayr.
It's all tied up at 1 apiece. 1:53 remaining on McCausland's penalty.
And if you're watching the aggregate between the teams, Ayr now within 1 again.
Back on the attack. Here come the Ayr Scottish Eagles, looking to make things happen. Mikkel drops it back. Young feeds it over. Byram takes his time, stick handles, pumps it into the corner. Back to Young. He's got the big shot, elects to go to the left. Back again now. A lot of time being taken as Wynn dumps it back into the corner. This is good stuff, but they need quality shots on goal to make things happen. From close in, goaltender down. Oh, it's in the net again! Another power play goal! Mikkel was floating, got the touch.
Sadasari has been rock solid between the pipes for Newcastle, but that's a shot he's going to wish he had another chance at. The puck is worked down low. It's not a hard shot. It's directed at the net. Mikkel finding the back of the net somehow through all the equipment of Sadasari. Ayr are now out in front, 2-1, 2 power play goals. That one just getting into the back of the net.
Two to 1 now. Ayr leading this hockey game, and all goals in this game, folks, have come on the power play.
2 power play goals for Ayr. They now have 13 power play goals in this Benson and Hedges Cup.
Bristow got it up, but Mosner stops it, bangs it off the boards, that hits the back of the net and rests on the mesh. So the face-off will come out of the zone because the Jesters put it there.
Quite obviously, the lesson for the Jesters is stay out of the penalty box. It's not something they're used to doing. They don't take many penalties, and they know they can't afford to against this air power play.
Also, they're without Arkioma and Kupka. They're down in numbers, so you'd think there'd be more reason to stay out of the box.
Absolutely.
Mosner, with less than a minute to go on the period, driven in, back in a hurry. So for what? Moving along the boards. Swarsa trying to jam it there. Binns with Finton. Binns and Finton getting in each other's way. Eventually it's passed over, looking for the cross as Oates was working on the far side. 28 seconds now left on the period. Montanari going for a skate. It's a 3-on-3 situation out there. Montanari pokes that away from Binns. Driven hard to the near side. 10 seconds now remaining on this period. Bedard unable to get on the end of that. Newcastle just hammering it out of the zone all the way down the ice. And there goes the buzzer to end the first period, and what a period it was. Newcastle started off big with Poirier, and then Wynn and McKell came back for Ayr Scottish Eagles, and that's how it is after 20 minutes of hockey. 2-1 for Ayr. Welcome back to the Centrum for the second period of this B&H Cup game between the Ayr Scottish Eagles and the Newcastle Jesters. 2 goals in 39 seconds have put the Ayr Scottish Eagles, who are playing from right to left, in the lead in this hockey game. It's a 2-1 scoreline. It's all tied up on aggregate, and folks, it's anyone's hockey game right now.
It sure is, because Newcastle don't give the puck up, but they can't go to the penalty box. They figured that out in a hurry. Ayr with 2 big power play goals. They outshot Newcastle 12-5 in the first period.
Wilson on the move, got it up on the wing. Finton looks for places to go. Harding grabs it for Ayr and gets it back. Hand circling, eventually drops back deep. The shadow coming from Lacroix. Lacroix is dropped, and Maury Hansen says, get up and play hockey. Harding goes in against Wilson, drops that behind the cage. This is good stuff from Ayr as they're throwing the puck around, and they picked it up another gear. Delayed offside in effect as the Scottish Eagles come out of the zone to avoid the whistle blowing. Wilson once again finds himself way up there on his own. Flipped in, Oates is on it. The touch by Silverplatz, and the icing whistle blows at 18:54. 18 minutes, 54 seconds remaining on this period, and it still is a wide open hockey game, and I have a feeling it will be right to the final whistle.
And on the aggregate, we are all even right now.
I don't like these aggregate things. You have to take off your shoes and socks after a while if you get a lot of goals in. It gets confusing.
Well, I didn't appreciate you running out to the car park to grab a calculator either during the flow of play.
Montanari backs off. Loose puck in a circle, eventually cleared away. Binns backhands it along the board. Sorsa lets it ride, and here comes Salonen. Salonen gets it right out front. Oh, look what I've got. Oh, ho, ho.
Matt Oates thought that was a sure thing. A great feed from Salonen. He's on the off wing, feathers that pass across so nicely, right onto the stick of Oates. He gets the touch, but who has the last laugh? It's de Rouville in the net for Ayr, coming up with a huge save.
Mosner way back behind his cage. The shadow coming from Weaver. All the way down, another break at the other end. The shot back at a goaltender is there. Oh, Jari Sorsa had a golden opportunity to level the score. Goaltenders at both ends pulling off big saves. Salonen breaks in, and we have a penalty coming up. Shot just wide of the target as Oates let it ride. Holding is the call.
Rough shift for Sorsa. He misses a breakaway on a great heads-up pass once again, all the way down the ice. We're seeing long passes being made. Eberle now going off the ice with some help and heading toward the dressing room. That's not a good sign for Ayr. They need him on the ice. 8 points in this tournament so far for Eberle. A very good offensive-minded defenseman making his way into the dressing room.
Well, it looked like he was limping. We know now that Jimmy Pack played last night for Nottingham with a foot the size of a football. He put his skate on, could hardly tighten it, and taped it up to keep it on his foot. That's how dedicated these guys are. His foot, as I said, was the size of a football. It had just ballooned from a shot that he took by a puck on the weekend. Lacroix feeds it over. A chance now with Lacroix on the hash marks. 5-on-4 situation at the side of the net. Poirier working back deep. Lacroix races along the boards, and that's chapped away by Wynn. Goes all the way down the ice. McCausland back deep. 1:27 left on the penalty. Flipped over on the wing. A chance now as Poirier picks up a little speed, rattles it off the woodwork. Young is on the far side. Takes a hit, tries to chop at it. Eventually, the second attempt, it's thrown out of the zone. Tony Hand playing on penalties, power plays, and taking a regular shift out there. Totally British-born. Backhander goes upstairs, took a deflection. Goaltender did not see it.
Not a bad shorthanded effort. Newcastle have had one power play opportunity in this game, and they made the most of it. They scored, but that's another play that's going to hurt them. Moray Hansen going right to the bench to talk to Coach Yalanen. He's going to be calling Newcastle for too many men on the ice.
Well, what the referee is saying is that I wouldn't have called that, but the guy who jumped on the ice and made it too many men on the ice actually touched the puck. So they had too many men on, but had he not touched the puck, the other guy was in distance to get off the ice, and he wouldn't have called it.
You can see blue shirts trying to scramble to the bench as quickly as possible. The two linesmen and the referee aren't fooled, though. Bad spot to be in. It's a tough one for Newcastle. I just mentioned that they scored with their only power play opportunity, and that is now wiped out as we'll be 4-on-4.
Face-off in neutralized territory right outside the Newcastle bench. Mosner goes for a skate, being shadowed by Harding. Almost coughed it up as Oates come back to help out. 37 seconds on the Ayr penalty. Oates on the far side, still racing down. Doyle goes after him. Oates is there, he's got a head of steam, and Doyle stays right in his face and takes him out of the play. Long pass works, and here comes Ayr. 3-on-2 situation. This is good. Gordon going in, looking for the backhander. Doyle raced in, couldn't get a swipe on it.
Good move by Silverplatz, the Swede going right in on the Newcastle goal. He's got 3 goals in the Benson and Hedges Cup, and you can see why. Great lateral movement by him.
Mosner popped it in, and it's taken out in a hurry. Another 3-on-2 situation. Offside is the call. Harding took a rocket of a shot, but the whistle had already blown.
Boy, did Mike Harding ever drill that shot.
Let's see the call.
Mike Harding going up to the blue line. Big left-handed shot, but it isn't going to matter. The whistle blowing. An Ayr player stepping over the blue line ahead of the puck. No goal.
Newcastle now moving in all the way back to the blue line. Wilson unable to keep it in. Eventually just dumps it in, and the Jesters come out of the zone to avoid the offside whistle. Hand, long pass, bounces, picked up nicely eventually by Bristow. He loses control. Harding is there to help out. Wilson's pass right up the middle, going for Fenton. Doyle puts it upstairs. Lacroix gloves it down. Good move by him. The official says keep playing, keep playing. Getting back in a hurry is the Ayr Scottish Eagles as that's moved along the boards. We have 13 seconds. Poirier Keiko slams at that as it goes off a shin pad. 4 seconds. Tony Hand will slow it down, takes a long shot, and the buzzer goes to end yet another entertaining period of hockey. There were no goals scored in that 20-minute period, so it stays 2-1 for the Scottish Eagles over the Newcastle Jesters. Still a third and final period to go. Welcome back to the third and final period of this B&H Cup game between Newcastle and Ayr. Ayr are leading at 2-1. Bolts, if it stays like this after this 20-minute period, what happens?
They will be even on aggregate. We will go to a 10-minute overtime period. And if neither team are able to end it at that point, we will have a penalty shootout, 5 shots from each team. And if that still doesn't solve it, there will be the next round of penalty shots will be sudden death.
Wilson winds up and drives that in. Rouville got a piece of it. Doyle sent it into the corner, looking for the long pass. Mosner saw that all the way. Deflects back into the zone. Both teams trying to change on the fly out there.
Paul, this has been a very even game. We've had 3 goals in it, all 3 power play goals, and we've also had very close shots on net here. 19-17 favoring Newcastle after 2 periods of play.
Keiko up on the wing. Swarsa up on the left wing now. Swarsa finds an opening, flips it in. Oates is in there. Oates gets a stick up high, backhands it back behind the net. Swarsa tries to do it and get it out front. Oates came in, but a bobbling puck eluded him.
It was a bad bounce, or Oates might have connected on that one. He was open in front of the net.
Binns drags his man down. Weaver is in there with the little poke, and Oates is way back in the far corner after being at the far corner on the other end to help rescue the play. Both teams again changing on the fly. Scott Young brings it up the ice. Courtney Wilson squeezes him out of the play into the plexi. Mosner gently taps it up. Mikkel up on the wing, a bouncing puck again, and we're seeing a lot of bouncing, bobbling pucks out there. The ice surface is good. Oh, that was difficult for the goaltender as Wynn moved in. But we are seeing lots of bouncing pucks, and that will determine how much they throw that puck around out there.
Well, absolutely, but Sadasari had to be alert. It was a bouncing puck. He had to play that like he was a baseball infielder.
Newcastle have yet to pick up any silverware at all in their short history, but I'm sure things will happen. They have a great team. They just need to believe in themselves, and that's the one thing that Paul Heavey said to me. The last couple of games, we've started to string it together, and we're actually starting to believe in ourselves again. We're getting that confidence back. Even if pass up the middle, Salonen now breaks into the corner. Young chases him. Salonen with a burst of speed, but Young was right on his tail to hammer him in there. Clark is in hard as that squirts away, and a long pass over to Young. Young gets to it as he's held by Keiko. Keiko with Wynn on his tail, a chance. Byram got it over, and Imonen got a touch on it. Clark got it up, and had he seen Salonen breaking, he probably would have made the pass a little harder. Young, long pass up into the wing. Salonen was held for a long time. Binns taken out of the play. A 2-on-2 situation as that's pumped in. Swarsa on this side, Bedard clutching and grabbing on the far side of the rink. Bedard and Oates in the corner, trying to do some damage. Some good stuff coming from Mikkel as he ties his man up, and look how physical it is down in that far corner. Binns eventually picks himself back up with 13:49 left on the period, and it is getting more and more physical, more tight as they go into the final stages of this game.
Well, neither team want to give an inch. There's too much at stake, and this is just like practice hockey out here. When I say practice, it's that hard grinding effort to make sure that bodies are covered, and it's good 3-on-3 hockey from the hash marks in. Guys have got to make sure they stick with their opponent and don't give them an opening around the front of the net.
Oates won the draw. The shot came in. Goaltender made the save. There was no real steam on it. Shot again. Goalie got a stick on it. And Suorsa blasted that from the left-hand side, and this time the icing whistle goes against the Ayr Scottish Eagles. 2 shots on the target within a matter of a couple of seconds. Brings out big saves on the Scottish goaltender.
Well, number 40, Jari Sorsa, 24 years old, a Finnish player, showing why he is over here playing for the Jesters. Good, quick player, good hard shot, doesn't waste any time, drills that one at the Ayr net.
Goaltender has that butterfly style where he goes down, spreads the pads out. Sometimes a little vulnerable upstairs on the high shots. Wilson off the boards. Keiko to Poirier. A 2-on-3 situation. Nice little move by Fenton. Fenton racing down. Burley unable to move it. Poirier couldn't get a shot away, and things happening the other direction. A 3-on-3 situation. Long pass over, and Michael Harding just couldn't get on that. Wilson back behind his net, looks up the center. Long pass. Just did not work for Lacroix. The idea was right, but it was inches off the target. A chance now. Poirier goes in on the backhand, tries to jam it in, and couldn't beat the goaltender. Great stuff. Imanen rattles it right back in. Ayr coming back down the ice. Courtney is on the wing, gets the drop pass. Courtney spending a long time on the puck. That bobbles off a skate and comes out of the zone. Back to Young at center ice. Bouncing puck on the far side. Mikkel fires it in. Goalie out to slow it down. 12 minutes and 14 seconds remaining on the hockey game. Sorsa couldn't control it. A little flip up on the wing. Byram drops it back. Courtney's shot is deflected. A chance now. Sorsa looks for places to go and elects to just dump it in. Bedard goes in hard, but he can't get to the puck. One too many bodies. Good stuff there from Sova as he slowed things down. Byram tries to clear it out. Courtney gets it up. Ayr trying to break in to get in shooting possession. Courtney was right in front, and Mosker dragged him down. No penalty on the play. Salonen reached up, couldn't get on it. Silverplatz drove it right back into the corner. No let up in the pressure from both teams. No let up in the skating out there. Long pass will go the distance. No icing call. They're waving everything off out there as Hillstrom tried to bring it out and dumped it back. Salonen backs off. Sova was right there, couldn't slow it down, and bodies flying all over the place as once again the icing whistle blows.
Well, Hillstrom at 6'6" just got planted into the boards by David Clark, the young British forward, showing that he's in this game for real. He's worked hard for his place on this Newcastle team. What a giveaway earlier by Mikkel, right onto the stick of Poirier. He goes onto the backhand. That's a great save by Derouville. All by himself, Poirier just couldn't find the back of the net.
Long pass up to Tony Hand. Hand throws it up onto the left wing and breaks for the net. A chance now as that comes out front. Oh, and it was a golden opportunity there for Cam Bristow. Couldn't make it pay. Back on the attack. Imanen looking for a little support. Fenton is up there now, and so is Salonen. Silverplatz collects and brings it up. Hits the blue. Comes up to the red. Salonen goes after his man. The giveaway there to Sova. Sova throws it up on the wing. Not a lot of Jesters in sight. Sova couldn't get on it. Salonen has it. Salonen's got the moves. Can he get the shot away? He does, but it goes to the top of the crease and wide. 5:49 left. Gordon tries to move it. Weaver tried to pick it up. Crowd again calling for a penalty. Clark brings it down. Clark slams it to the far side. Burley got it out of the zone. Weaver tapped it up. That was nice. And here we go again. Montanari's off the side of the net. Keiko. Sova. End-to-end ice hockey out there as both teams really turned it on. That took a deflection off the stick and went up high.
stick that's laying on the ice, not belonging to anybody in particular right now, is the reason why the puck deflected over the boards. Again, we go back to good end-to-end action in this game. Both teams wanting to make sure that they're very correct when they choose to go off the ice during the flow of play. You don't want to go off the ice when the play is in your defensive zone. Cam Bristow with a great chance getting his stick on the end of that puck. Montanari with a good shot. It's deflected, and that one went just off the side of the net.
Young to the far corner. Mikkel Young backhanded out all the way down the ice. Binns will go back and collect. 4:54 left on this hockey game. If it stays like this, we go into extra time. 2-1 Air leading in this hockey game, but it's all level on aggregate. Bouncing puck off the skate. Mikkel recovers and brings it up to the blue. Nice little pass up. Win. Offside is the call as Oates got back to stay with him. Morey Hansen staying right on this play along with his linesman. Player going over the blue line ahead of the puck once again. Face-off back to where that play started. On the pass, they take it back where it originated. Puck falls nicely for Lacroix. Goaltender unable to jam it. Lacroix races in. He's got it now back behind the net. Can he get a shot away? Right out front. Backhander score! Number 33, Arttu Keiko levels the score.
Keiko's first goal of the Benson and Hedges Cup tournament. It isn't ever a huge one for Newcastle. The crowd has gone quiet here and there. It's that hard-working line that I keep talking about once again of Fenton, Poirier, and Lacroix. And this time Lacroix is the provider. Staying on the puck, working hard. Daniel Lacroix, good heads-up pass right into the slot. Keiko had stepped up from his defensive spot on the backhand, puts it into the net.
Lacroix doing a good job to set it up, as you said, Bopes. And that's why in ice hockey, you get a point in the standings for yourself in the scoring table for assisting on a goal, because it's just as important to assist as it is to score, because the guy wouldn't be able to score unless you can set him up.
Absolutely. You can be the greatest goal scorer in the world, but it's hard to play hockey on your own. You need teammates who are unselfish and they're willing to sacrifice not only their bodies, but their own goal-scoring opportunities to be the provider from time to time.
Four minutes and 8 seconds left on the hockey game.
And that goal also is very typical of Scandinavian type of hockey. The Swedes, the Finns, they love to have that one defenseman jump in and be like a fourth forward. They get four guys involved in the offense.
Doyle goes in as Sources shoots it in, and Newcastle happy to jump it in the zone. They're not going to do anything foolish. They're not going to get caught with too many guys up. Weaver drives it into the corner. Back for it is Rhett Gordon. Flips it to the side to Weaver. Weaver tries to drag it through. Mossner stays in his face. It's not away. Doyle took a shot wide of the target, but it's still in possession with the Air Scottish Eagles. Now it's not. Bobbling puck flipped over towards Sorsa. He can't get it. Bedard is hammered nicely by Eberle, and it's loose on the far side. A chance now as Weaver waits for a little support. He's poke checked by Oates, and this is good hockey. We're seeing good end-to-end stuff as both teams turn it on in the final 3 minutes of this game. It's all tied up 3-3, or 2-2 rather, but on aggregate, Newcastle lead it. Lacroix going after Byram. Byram to Young. Young slows it down. Long pass up, a giveaway pass, and Keiko flips it back in again. Makes sure he gets over the red line to avoid the icing call. Young up on the wing. Courtney races in. Goaltender cleverly stops it. Lacroix tries to get it out and does. Young again. Will try it again. Almost gave it away to Salonen. Salonen watches that go by him, and Young flips it to the far side. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left on the hockey game. high flip, goalie drops it. He wants to keep the clock ticking and keep the play moving. Getting it out of the zone. That's the name of the game for Newcastle. Emanen got it out. Salonen on the far side, working with Clark, and Clark backs off. Salonen backs off. Both, you can see these guys, they're not going to press them deep in the zone.
Time is in favor of Newcastle right now. They don't want to go into a defensive shell, but they don't want to be silly. They don't need to take chances right now.
Bristow smothered out of the play. Bristow somehow collects, takes a shot from a sharp angle. Wilson tried to get it and couldn't. That came through the crease. Harding on the backhand. Tony Hand is always dangerous, in particular when he's back behind that net. Wilson stays on him. He knows how he plays. Wilson stays with him. Bobbling puck. Harding couldn't get on it. Oates working down the far side, taken out of the play, but he got over the red line and shot it down the ice. 1:18 left on the hockey game. We'll keep our eye on the Air goalie. Will he come off? Chance is there for Gordon as he tried to move it in. Harding down, Harding up along the boards. Byram along the boards. The goaltender is off. The net is empty at the other end of the rink. It's a 6-on-5 situation. Weaver now in the corner. Weaver backhands it. Keiko tries to get it out. A bubbling puck comes back to the blue line. All the way back. The shot. Goaltender makes a save. Loose puck is not away. Byram along the boards. Weaver trying to jam it out front. Weaver fights for it. Deflection off the goalie stick. 33 seconds left on the hockey game. Pucked in. Goaltender makes a save. Whoa, what a finish to a hockey game that has been unbelievably fast since the opening face-off.
Well, there isn't anybody that can say Ayr have given up on this game. That's for sure. They are working so hard, and Newcastle are desperate to try and get the puck out of their zone. The goaltender off the ice, Ayr with 6 guys out there. Now call a timeout. They want to talk this over. The face-off is deep in Newcastle territory. Both teams want to make sure the assignments are correctly in place. This is a big face-off for both teams, especially for Ayr. They'll have the extra man on the ice. They've done everything but put the puck in the net in the last minute of this game.
Both coaches giving instructions for the final 29.8 seconds of this hockey game. The tie votes will favor the Jesters.
Absolutely. We're at 2-2 in this game. The aggregate right now is 5-4 for the Newcastle Jesters.
It's a 2-leg affair. It's a quarterfinal of the B&H Cup. The losers will continue on into the Seconda Super League domestic league play, but the winners will go on into the next round.
Into the next round with the Nottingham Panthers, the London Knights, and the Sheffield Steelers.
A lot of power there. It's going to be interesting the next round, and we're going to be with it, so be sure to join us on Eurosport. Empty net at the other end of the rink. Face off in the Jester zone. This is important. Both centers are being told to get out. Oates has gone. Lacroix steps in. Gordon is there. Lacroix wins the draw. A chance for the Jesters as that flipped up high. Weaver brought it down, but can he control it? Wilson got in a hurry. 19 seconds. Long pass up on the wing. Wilson gets back and breaks it up nicely. Pass up to number 23, Oates. Oh, and he just misses the target. Long shot. Goaltender gloves it down. Wilson is there yet again. Wilson falls. Oates way back. Flips it high, and there goes the buzzer to end the hockey game. It's all tied up, 2 goals apiece, but the Newcastle Jesters march on in this competition.
Jukka Jalonen and Glenn Mulvanna, the coaches from Newcastle, with a big handshake for each other. They are very happy.
So after 60 minutes of hockey, it ends up 2-2, but the Newcastle Jesters march on into the next round because they win it on aggregate. Great game, great performance from both teams, but the Jesters are there, 5-4 on aggregate. What a competition, what a game. Join us after the break for the draw.
Well, hope you've recovered from those last few minutes. Confirmation then tonight, the Newcastle Jesters join Nottingham, London and Sheffield in the semi-finals. We got the draw coming up in just a few moments from now. That Keiko goal in the third period, an equaliser and a winner on aggregate overall. Let's have a look at the stats, and it was so tight. In fact, the Eagles had more shots on goal, 26-22, 6 power plays to 4, and they scored 2 of their goals in power plays. But of course, it's the Jesters who now go through to the semi-finals. Let's have the reaction now of both coaches. You've beaten them 3 times now this season, twice at home, but this one must be the most important one for you.
Yeah, that's true. It's never an easy place to play here, and we are very happy to be through to the semi-finals. And I think we deserve 5-on-5. We were maybe a little bit better team, but there were quite a lot of penalties to write, and we had to kill them, and it's a good result for us.
Now you finished bottom of your group. Now you're through to the last 4. What's happened in between?
Those first games in the Benson and Hedges Cup group games, I think we had only one guy coming back from last season. It takes time to gel as a team, and we have started the Super League actually quite well after those group games, and we have continued our form in the Benson and Hedges quarterfinals against there, and we are very happy to get through.
Now the Jesters have never won a major trophy. Could this be your year, do you think?
I hope so, and I believe that we have a chance. There is 4 trophies to play for, and I think we will get one of those.
Who do you fancy in the draw that we're going to make in a few moments' time?
I think it doesn't matter. All those 3 teams are very tough teams to beat, so it doesn't actually matter.
But you're confident you can win this season?
Of course we can win something, yeah.
Well, Paul, bitter disappointment for you and the Eagles, of course, tonight. Things aren't going your way at the moment, are they?
No, we're having a real tough time this season. We're sitting at the bottom of the league and we've just been put out of the Benson and Hedges Cup, so it's a very testing and challenging time for us, that's for sure. I'm
sure you won't put this down to the absence of Jim Lynch, but that can't help the continuity of the side, can it, when the coach is injured?
No, I think we just have to get on with it. It does hurt the continuity, of course. But we had a little meeting with the guys, and we really came out and fired up tonight. And I thought we could have won this game. But you've got to take your chances. I think we had a lot of chances. I think we outpressured them certainly in the first period a lot. We had some good chances in the second, and we didn't finish. Third period, we just didn't take our shots.
Of course, you finished top of your group in qualifying. You were one of the favourites. You got such a great record on this competition, which makes it, I suppose, all the worse.
It is. It's very. It's a sad day for the club to be out at this stage of the competition. But I think we're in a little bit of a hole, as you can see. And sometimes when you get down there, it's really tough to dig yourself out. A lot of guys are putting a lot of hard work in, but when you don't get breaks, all we need to do is maybe win a game, win 2 games, and get some confidence back. I think there's a lot of good players in the dressing room. We do have talent, and guys are working hard, but we're not getting any breaks. So we have to work harder. We just have to keep working harder until the breaks come, and hopefully it'll turn for us.
About the reaction of the coaches, I'm joined by our commentators again. It's Richard and Paul. And Paul, first of all, another really tight game, but so exciting.
Exciting hockey. I don't know how much more my heart or my voice can take, but it was great. 2 good games in 2 nights. Excellent goaltending from both teams. Good offensive, defensive hockey. It really has improved over the years, and tonight you can see the best from British ice hockey.
Yeah, it's great stuff. And Richard, again, the away team comes out on top.
Absolutely no respect. That's what hockey's all about. The away teams are going to town. They're coming away with the victories. There's no respect shown, and that's good to see. Ayr and Newcastle played 19 times in this building. Ayr winning 14 times. 2 wins for Newcastle and 3 draws, but what a draw for Newcastle to earn tonight and to send themselves into the semi-final round of the Benson and Hedges Cup.
Well, of course, Poirier gave them the perfect start. Then Ayr hit back with 2 quick-fire goals, and they really took the ascendancy.
You're absolutely right. It would have been so easy for Ayr to just call it quits after that goal was scored. They got a break here with Cheater Wynn's goal. Scott Young started things off, passed it over, a slight deflection, puts it in the back of the net.
And then just seconds later, wasn't it, Jan Michael came up. The crowd couldn't believe it.
It's Young once again setting things up from the blue line. The puck goes down low. The goaltender unable to come up with it for Newcastle. And it's a power play effort for Mikkel.
2 goals in 39 seconds.
Can't get much better than that. Let's take a look at the stats again. And do they always tell the story? It looks like Ayr, really, well, they had more shots on goals. Were they in the ascendancy?
Well, they were. They had a lot of the play, but again, we saw good goaltending at both ends of the rink, so you can't rely on the stats. It's how it finishes up on the scoreboard at the end of the game.
Looking at the power play goals, 3 goals in power play, but the winner, Richard, well, that came in real time.
Absolutely. A good setup by Ayr. It's that hard-working line. Lacroix being the provider in this play. Never stop hockey here from Poirier, Lacroix. These guys just keep going. Daniel Lacroix, who earned the Gold Player of the Award. putting the puck onto the stick of Kayako. He puts it into the back of the net. Great goal to end it.
It's so tight, and the Jesters have never won a tournament. Do you think this can be their year, gentlemen?
I really do. They have to believe in themselves. They've got a great coach, and they've got a nice mixture of international players. This could be their year.
Well, thanks very much, guys. Now let's take a look at our 4 semi-finalists. There we go. 1, the Steelers, 2, the Knights, 3, the Panthers, and 4, tonight's winners, the Jesters. Well, I'm joined now by Brian Story, the Super League Secretary, and Donald Wilson from Benson and Hedges, the sponsors, and they're going to do the draw tonight. Welcome, gentlemen. Let's get on with proceedings.
Number 3, Nottingham.
So that's Nottingham, and they'll play.
Number 1, Sheffield.
That's Nottingham against Sheffield. Okay.
Number 2, London.
London out of the hat next, and they'll play.
Number 4, Newcastle.
And they will play Newcastle. There we have the draw. I'm joined now by our commentators Richard and Paul. Guys, you've seen the draw. What do you think of it?
Chris, you couldn't have scripted it better. Nottingham, Sheffield, it's a local derby, no love lost. 2 very physical, aggressive teams. I'm looking forward to that one.
And Richard, Newcastle's endeavours gives them a trip to London.
Well, I think there's a lot of respect between both of these teams. Coach Jukka Jalonen of Newcastle and Chris McSorley of London will both have plenty of videotapes to watch and homework on each other because they played each other in the first round of play, and also in league play. London got by Newcastle 6-2 just last Sunday, so Newcastle are going to go right back to the drawing board.
Absolutely, it's so tight. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for the moment. They'll be back in 2 weeks' time. In fact, we'll all be back in 2 weeks' time for the first semi-final between the Sheffield Steelers and the Nottingham Panthers. That's on Tuesday, the 31st of October. And then on the following day, Wednesday, the 1st of November, at the same time, it's the first leg of the second semi-final. That's between the Knights and, of course, the Jesters. Well, we're nearly through. It's the last 4, then it'll be the last 2, and eventually we'll have the champions. That's on December the 9th, live here on British Eurosport. But from a very cold air, it's see you in 2 weeks. Good night.